Alright guys, project management question for today is, what is a scope matrix and how do I use it? And a scope matrix, yes, it is a project management thing, it is legit, and effectively it's a filtering mechanism. It's a way that you can delineate your scope from your inclusions and your exclusions, and it's a pretty cool tool in the fact that you don't need to be a PM to understand how to use it. So you can use it quite confidently in a room full of people who aren't project management experts. The beauty lies in its simplicity. And to be concurrent with that theme, I'll use a very simple explanation. So for me, I'm going to go on a holiday, and I'm going to learn how to spell the word holiday. That's going to be one of my objectives on the holiday. And my holiday is going to be for 3 nights, effectively 5 days. Because I love work so much, I'm going to make them all work days. So 5 weekdays, 3 nights I'm going to go on holiday, and I'm going to go to exotic Bali, because that's just what you do. So, for a lot of people, that's their scope. That's it. They've got their scope. They're like, guys, let's run this project. It's loose, it's messy. Half the problems here are we don't know what's included in this project and we don't know what the exclusions are. So if we're to draw our scope, it would look something like this. It's got a lot of holes. And what the scope matrix does, it enables us to define the scope to a greater extent. And it gets us from this to this. And what we've got is a scope that's well defined. We know what's included and we know what's excluded. Every time there's a gap here, that's a question mark. That's someone saying, well, flights, are they part of this project, yes or no? And what you'll end up here is, if you've got this ambiguity, you'll end up with the project manager here trying to push things out because he or she has got a limited budget, time frame, and a capacity to absorb a number of risks. But they're saying, look, I don't want more things. It's going to erode my budget, my schedule, get it out of here. And then you've got the client and other friends, let's call them stakeholders, who want as much as they can get for their investment. And they try and cram stuff in. If it hasn't been well delineated, if a decision has been made, is it in or is it out, this becomes a point of conflict. And contract law 101, if you write a contract with an ambiguous scope, it tends to favour the party that didn't write the contract. So you tend to lose out. So let's be good kids and let's write a clear scope. Simple and easy way to do this, scope matrix. And all it is, I'm going to use the very fun version here, all it is a filtering mechanism. Let's use the same example here. We're going on a 5-day holiday to Bali for 3 nights. What are the things that are totally essential for this trip? Totally essential, i.e. the project could not occur without it. My assumption here is that I'm in Australia, in Perth, so totally essential, I'm going to call this must-have, is going to be a passport. I physically can't get into the country without a passport. So if I don't have that, project can't happen. What else? Airline ticket. And this could be a budget airline. Assuming you're not going to swim there, let's go with that being a must-have and essential. Let's find somewhere to sleep for the 3 nights. 3 nights, accommodation, and we could go backpackers. We should go backpackers because we want to just meet this objective. 3 nights accommodation at a backpackers. Great. Is there anything else that's essential? I'm assuming we've got clothes on our body, but that's fine. Let's put a per day in. So $100 per day spending money to get food and so on. Yeah, people who've gone to Bali say, oh my God, you can do it on so much less than that. That is not a must-have. And if that's correct, if it can be done cheaper, if any of these can be downgraded, downgrade it. And I'm going to go $20 Australian per day as my per diem. Great. And what I want here is a bare bones project. It's a skeleton project. It just meets the objectives. It just meets that criteria, and it doesn't meet it to any degree that you would say this is a great holiday. This is going to be a shit holiday. I'm just putting it out there. But we are going to meet our objectives. Now, once I've done this, I've gone through the must-haves. I then go through and try and quantify these things in terms of time and cost generally, but also risk. So we'll just do time and cost. Passport. What are the time and cost implications for this? I'm going to make the assumption I've already got a passport, so I've got a column here, time, a column here, cost. Time is 0, 10 minutes to find it, 10 minutes. And cost is going to be 0. Tickets for a budget airline. I'm just going to make this up. It's going to be $300 return, and it's going to take me about 30 minutes to go through and identify a good carrier and so on. By good I mean cheap in this example here. 3 nights to the backpacker. It's going to cost me $50 per night. It's going to be expensive, but that's the cheapest I can get, and that's going to be $150. I know, people have been to Bali, I'm just using numbers. In terms of booking it, let's say another 30 minutes. And the per diem, I guess we went for 5 days, so $20 per day, that's going to be $100 for the trip. So very quickly, we can see that it's going to cost us 550 days. Time perspective as well for this, we said we're going for 5 days. Alright, so let's make this happen. So, what I'm going to run by, I'm going to say these are essential to my project. I need to have at least $550 of coin, and I need to have an hour and 10 minutes where I can actually go through and implement this project, and I also require 5 days off work to make this thing happen. If I'm going to struggle to meet this, basically I'm saying, look guys, I'm going to struggle to meet this project at a very, very rudimentary bare bones level. And if that's you, I would really question, should I do this project? Hopefully you've got a resounding yes. Look, we've got coin, we've got time off work, we've got 110 minutes to make this happen. Those of you who just looked at my maths and went, this guy's an idiot, I'll just change it to 70 minutes for you. Everyone else who didn't notice a mistake, you're having a great day like myself. Okay? So hopefully you're giving this a big resounding yes, we can do this, and then we can move on. Let's start adding cool stuff. Alright, what else can we do? Let's add some benefits here. And here comes another column, like to have. And here we start listing things like, we'd like to have a suitcase to carry all our things in. We'd like to have premium tickets. We'd like to go to a 3-star resort. We'd like to increase the per diem so we can buy more than nasi goreng every day, and we can actually have a beer. Alright, $50 per day and so on. So we start to add value on this side of things. And you can keep going. Have another column called Dreamland. Right. And this is actually a way to make it really enjoyable and fun when you're doing the scope definition stage. We'd like to have a 5-star, business class seats, so and so and so. Alright. As long as what you're adding still brings value to the project, well, in this case, still brings benefits to the project, add it on there. And in essence, this is the scope matrix. Now, that was part 1. You're like, oh my god, there's part 2. Part 2 is the fun bit. Part 2 is the bit where we say, let's start defining the scope. What's in and what's out. And the more things we can identify as inclusions and exclusions, the clearer our scope's going to be. So passport, it's included. Tickets, are we going to go budget or are we going to go business class? We are going to go budget. So budget tickets are included. Business class, wherever I wrote that, is out. Alright, I'm just ticking across the these. Suitcase, what do you think? In or out? Negative, out. Okay. Every time we've made a decision, suitcase is excluded, we've actually filled in some of the gaps. And we keep going, we keep filling the gaps. A good game to play here is then start asking questions. Surfboards, are we taking yes or no? Great, we haven't identified that. Let's make it inclusions. Again, the more things we identify and the more things we filter as inclusions and exclusions, the less likely we're going to end up having this ambiguity and having this problem. And from a PM estimating point of view and planning point of view, once we've identified that it's work, we can cost that work, we can find out how much time is required, like we played this game, and then we can get a budget that really aligns with what we're actually trying to do. So, hopefully that's answered the what is a scope matrix and what does it do. Feel free to ask any questions, and if you want me to explain the whole thing again in a different context, maybe something that suits your industry, just give me an email, let me know, shoot me a comment. Cool. Alright, have a good day.